Welcome to the Grindhouse Massacre Tournament Finals bracket. We have Vicinal versus Silence. Silence on the Blight with Greasera, Bronzy, Slasher, and Gray as the survivors. This is a fast set. I'm here with Georgie. What are we expecting here?
Thank you for the introduction. Of course, lovely to be here casting for Grindhouse once again. You said it first, we're talking Silence. They're a good team. I've seen a lot of good killer results out of them, especially their killer that's playing here, Mariana. On a killer like Blight, we're starting off fast. I'm expecting somewhere in the neighborhood, I'm going to predict 4K1.
I think that's a pretty safe bet for a Blight set, but what isn't expected is these perks. We have Ruin, Crowd Control, Retribution, but what we should expect is a very fast burst down, as this is a Blight set. There goes Corrupt, and there goes a Totem. The Flashlight save not coming through, even though the pallet was there. Retribution is why you're seeing all of those auras. This is not a wall ball, this is comp, and this is going to be the first hook. And now we'll see what Mariana wants to do. They know someone's hovering here still from Retribution. There's the power drop, and there's a hit. And it's a very fast second chase.
But that aura reading from the Retribution proc let him know about the incoming positioning from Slasher there to get the pull. And in that kind of situation, when you're able to stop a pull like that, where you know, because we're talking about Blood Lodge and it's Blight, you have to kind of rotate early and position yourself in those positions, so you can out-rotate the Blight, because he's too fast, right? In this situation, they can't do that because of that Retribution proc, and he's probably wondering if that was Game Sense or Aura Reading, and thankfully it was Aura Reading, so he's down a perk, but we already have a chase coming in from Mariana. Greasera does take a tag. It looks like Mariana wants to go back. He has two options to tunnel out here. He has a stage on Slasher, and he's a stage on Bronzy. And I think he's gonna take the secure on Slasher because he has so many injuries on the board. I'd be surprised if he leaves his hook.
I agree. I think there's a lot of options you have, knowing that there's the pull coming in with no broken, because that was first hook, so no deliverance. You know where all four of these survivors are, so you have great control of what you get to do in this matchup. This stealther here for the first unhook was likely the Deli survivor. We'll see if it actually was. If it was, that means this Deli did not get through. If it was the second unhook attempt, we would be seeing Deli later in the game, but that might be part of the decision of why they want to camp this. If this was the Deli survivor with no Deli, then they don't want to deal with Unbreakable later in the game. First kill, no breaks. That looks like a great opportunity for a 4K3 or even better, as you've already got 3 stages and Ruin still up in with 5 gens left, and now here's why they're wanting to get some chases, knowing that they have the ability to get their charges back and go back to this hook if the survivors choose to get the unhook. But definitely an unusual early game, especially
Mariana playing these rotations so well right now. I'm so sorry to cut you off. I just had to comment on Mariana. Just looks like he has full control on this map right now. He's perfectly going back and forth, making sure Ruin's ticking, being watchful for any pulls, and I think you were correct on that decision, on that call that Ada Wong was our Deli survivor, and this trade is likely without Unbreakable to back it up, so I'd be surprised if they're able to stabilize off of this. We do see a pop off of the generator and Shack, thankfully, but that said, our Deathlick's already in chase here, and we're only at 4 gens. This could be better than 4K2, but as I say that, they're just cranking out the gens. Vicinal showing that they're not a weak team. They're here to play. This should be down relatively quickly. Mariana closes it out.
That will be the down. This will be the tunnel, unless we see something right now. There's no DS. That's going to be a kill with 3 gens left on Blight, and the survivor is still having to heal, so no one's immediately on a generator. Going to be a scary time for these survivors. I'm surprised about a lot of the things that happened in this game. Deli not being procced, the Retribution not being called, because the person cleansing the totem should have gotten a proc for it.
Oh.
More importantly, Bronzy going down here in this corner next to one of these totems. As I say that, another cleanse, Retribution getting even more value, seeing where these survivors are to know where they want to put this hook.
You can see how valuable just having an aura reading perk is on this set. I mean, you might think, oh, why wouldn't you just go like another chase perk or triple regression? But oftentimes on S tiers like Blight, where you're able to be so proactive on the map, just knowing positioning is more powerful than anything else. That's why Barbecue's banned. But Gotta hold my thought here. We're seeing so much action. That's an injury off hook. That's another trade. If he chooses to hook this, I'd be surprised. I'm expecting him to slug this. I don't know about you, Potato, but I think this is gonna snowball right here.
I think you're correct. I think the correct play here is the snowball. You have so much tempo, so much control, and if the read
This
on
could be it.
Unbreakable was the person already dead, this might be the game right here. Has to be aware this pickup might be coming through. That does come through. We see scratch marks, so that wasn't directly an Unbreakable pickup. And now these survivors trying to figure out what they can do. There's not many options, but that
Wow.
stun is definitely one of them. Gray off the rip, more like Gray off the pallet, trying to save the snowball. What is the Blight supposed to do now? Are they looking for a survivor? Just anywhere?
Getting that pallet stun that Gray did is not easy, folks. You gotta remember this is SA to NA, so these players are playing with easily high 90s, 100 ping. So what a great pallet play by Gray. And yeah, Gray off the rip, more like Gray off the pallet for sure. And looks like Bronzy's gonna close it out, and Mariana just knowing where the rotations are coming in. I gotta say, I don't even think Mariana played. He played well, but I don't think he played like an insane Blight. I think Retribution is the MVP this match. If I have to talk, it's the perk choice, really.
I think we definitely have a very good build saying, I don't need pop, I don't need eruption, I don't need slowdown outside of ruin. And now the only thing that Marion has to worry about is Gray off the floor if Unbreakable's still in play. All of the hosts coming through, hoping that there's nothing else funny happening. But regardless, a 4K3, even if things happen with weird outs or delis or Unbreakables, 4K3 is a great result. That is amazing, and it gives your survivors so much power in the second half of the set.
Yeah, we're seeing why Silence chose this Blight pick. Obviously, they were very prepared for this. And I think their serves will be just as prepared, if not more. But we've seen good things from Vicinal, and this set does have three sets if we go all the way to tiebreaker.
Now, while these survivors sit on hook because they can't choose to attempt to unhook themselves, that's banned in comp, we do have some time to talk about those sets if we want to. Silence was the team that picked Blight, that's why they're playing Killer first, but the other two sets after this are Billy and Oni. So if you like fast moving killers, this is definitely the day for you. So don't count Vicinal out yet, because there's still a lot more DVD to be played here today.
Yep, gone are the days where we're playing Wraith Scrim, Wraith tournament match number 5094. We're playing Billy and Blight and Oni, of course, if we get tiebreaker. So yeah, what Potato said, stick around, folks. It is going to be an exciting set. Based off of how Silence has come out the woodwork right here, it's going to be explosive. And I'm excited to see the rest of this, how it goes.
So that will be the result of a 4K3 with no extra notes at the end of it for Silence, but we'll see if Vicinal's killer can put up an equal or even better performance on the Blight set right after this. Welcome back to Silence versus Vicinal. We're here on the second half with Vicinal's Blight Gri0 trying to handle the struggle of a 4K3 Tycon Georgie. What does Gri0 have to do besides this fast first chase?
Like you said, get a fast first chase. Step number 2, get a fast down, and probably you're going to incorporate some slugging after he gets to the 3v1. Really, it's just, for me, if I was in the killer role here, game plan is get to the 3v1, slug, slug, slug.
I mean, that sounds like a good game plan, but we'll see if it's happening as Darkside here getting 2 pallet stuns. FTS, Nervosito, and Mariana doing whatever they please.
Ooh.
As that is a great dodge from Darkside, extending this chase a lot longer. Blight having to wait to get those charges back. Now we're going to be able to see it bounce, and there is the down.
What a great juke from Darkside. He's got that Quandel Glizzy Ohio Riz kind of going on here. Sheesh. Just what a great start, though, from the Blight. Like I said, he needed the first quick down, and he's got it. Now he's got to find and interrupt the gens. I wouldn't be surprised if he finds a generator completed here, and that's in the bot side. But with this win con of 4K3, you can't really hold a gen lock. He's got to leave this hook and catch the survivors in rotations. You got to be aggressive here. But that said, we do have Ruin, we do have Retribution, so if you can get lucky here and find a tag on a survivor, another tag somewhere else, those things stack up, and And then you can kind of get to the end game here, which is what we want.
I do agree. I think being aggressive here is the play, as we do see a hit onto Mariana and going straight back to the hook. But then the real aggression we need to talk about is chat's response to what you said when casting. Please. But while that's happening, the important part, not your casting notes, is the stun from FDS to stall the tunnel out of Darkside. BT already hit through. Next hit is going to be a down, we would presume. Let's see if Grizio can figure out where Darkside is. Sounds like the balanced landing from where...
Is this a balanced landing? It is.
Should be. And they do make good use of it, going straight back to where they died the first time. They know the trade, they know the RNG, and this pallet that FDS dropped is now a vault. Going to help extend this chase just a little bit further. The heal comes onto Mariana. I'm surprised they aren't just cranking more gens. But I guess the concern about the speed of this down right here, Darkside on the floor again.
Such a nice, well-played little VTech there. They're technically not supposed to be possible anymore, but you can still pull them off if you kind of like do like a little quick camera flick like Greaser did. And it looks like he's very mechanically warm on Blight here. Just for the survivors, I think they just have such a nice, lenient win con. It's still going to be so hard for him, but the tags, they just keep coming in. And I feel like this is on a nice edge still somehow. Even though there's only one stage in the game, you get to that scenario where it's a 3v1 and these tags matter so much more. So eventually we'll come and get this hook. Although I don't know if he wants to take this hook on Darkside. I think he's just going to leave him slugged.
I think you're very much right. This game is on a knife's edge as the Tycon has already been met. Grizio can't let another gen fly or anything get out the game by shack or hatch or door or anything. You got to stop the game right here if you want to get this Tycon. And right now, we're just flying a pallet like the Nimwing Killer, and there goes down to Mariana. Grizio sees the resets, knows somebody's on a gen, knows I want hits, I want downs, I need pressure now. And is that going to be happening? But we do hit onto FDS to make that happen. Got to get your 4 charges back, because now when you think about pickups, or are you still fighting for this gen behind Crane? You see the survivors on it. What progress is that at? Is that close enough?
It sounds like it's 80% to me, maybe like 10 uninterrupted seconds and it'll pop, but Greaser has to juggle so much here. He has to juggle slugs, injuries, and not only that, but them just going across the map and doing an entirely different gen. In this situation, the injuries just aren't coming fast enough for Greaser. I mean, he's got a couple on the board, but he's got to start getting slugs. Locker Force is a great play here, great idea by the survivors, but Greaser just too much of a Sigma Mel to take that and is going to take the down on Mariana. And might find his way back to this gen. You can see he's just going full for the slugging playstyle, but like I said earlier, this only really works when you're in the 3v1. In the 4v1, it's just too much to cover because you can afford to have that one survivor constantly rotating and going for these slug pickups. And Potato, I don't think Greaser can go without a gen popping for the next 20 seconds.
I don't think they can either. If they want this playstyle, I think they should need to run something like Cauldrophobia to make these pickups just a little bit slower. Knockout not really viable on Blight. But right now, the correction that you have is you see this gen Ruin popping on it again. There's another pickup. You have 2 survivors playing on this truck side. You have 2 survivors playing on this Crane side, making sure that if you commit too hard to either, the other side gets so much done that nothing's going to happen. And who cares about the truck when the Crane gen gets done, main gen gets done? Who needs Tycon? That is the win con, and another gen on top of that as gravy, and that's a dead hard from Darkside. The one hook already gotten, saying, hey, friendly reminder, I've been hooked, by the way. Have some endurance and go across the map and figure something else out.
Yeah, at this point, you just got to stabilize the mental and play a clean game here. I mean, I will say Greaser does not look like a bad Blight. He played a mechanically good Blight. Just, you know, in these kind of situations, you play into that win con, and then you end up getting a worse result had you played regularly. It doesn't mean it's just unfortunate, the circumstances, but, you know, I'm talking about like the match is already over. We still have a match to play. There's still 3 gens on the board, or there's still 3 gens available, and 1 gen that the survivors have to pop. We got to see if Greaser can hold this. He's got 1 slug. Man, it would have helped to have Cauldrophobia. You're completely right.
Yeah, with this kind of win con, you have to make sure that the perks and builds and running a maximum playstyle you have to get, and eating a pallet is not on that list. We do see the pickup onto FDS. We see survivors here at this gen. There's at least 1 that hit onto Mariana. You got the pallets done, but you didn't make it to safety because you thought that the Blight was going elsewhere. But now we see Grizio trying to find a way to get some pressure, still in this 4v1 as you said. Should just trying to be getting some hooks and stabilizes a little bit, but has already abandoned that, so throwing caution to the wind. Instead of playing a 4v1, let's play team deathmatch. Let's play TDM, let's just get as many slugs as you can. Who's got the counter? I'm gonna trust the ref to give me that number soon, right? I believe in you. We got this. We do see the chase on the Nervosito.
What a great dodge by Nervosito. Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that honestly, our killer is a little checked out now. I think he's just kind of hoping for survivor mistakes. I don't see how there's like really much game plan here. It does seem a bit like a TDM going on, but hey, you know, why not? If the match is already over, might as well practice your mechanics, get you warmed up. But I don't know if you want to be warming up the survivors you're about to verse next round as well. That said, though, 3-0 still here to show us a good Blight performance and some cool Blight techs that we can do. Oh, Nervosito with the teabags.
Ooh.
He wants more.
Maybe they were trying to crouch check the Blight. That's an actual strategy, or at least a good way to excuse a teabag if you really want to think about it. But we do see the hit onto Nervosito, and now the swap on the dark side. But as you noted, you're playing into Survivor's next match on the same map. It might be more important to figure out these Survivor's tendencies, if they're the ones you're going to be playing against as the Billy. How they play against Blight or how you play as Blight isn't going to matter much in the next set, but knowing if these Survivors like to throw pallets, like to free drop, like to stun, like to greed, those are important details to learn. But the most important detail is the missed swing onto Nervosito, trying to show that Grizio is the one who's supposed to be nervous, but the down does come through over the pallet.
There's that SA ping making it so Nervosito can't quite make that vault. A little bit of a misclick from Grizio, I'm assuming, on unfortunately canceling that dash. I'm thinking we're probably going to see a pop here. You know, you just can't hold these gens with this playstyle with a 4v1, so it's just an inevitability at this point until these gens pop. But the survivors kind of seemingly to slow it down. I think they're just choosing to play this slow and cautious, really. I mean, why give up more stages when you don't have to, right? Maybe they really want to get out with that one stage, and that would be pretty cool for the books, at least. You know, be like, hey, be one stage to Blight on Blood Lodge. But we're in these shoes, and it's got to be played out, right? So eventually these gens are going to pop. It's just how is it going to happen? And I'm thinking this gen over here at 4 is the most vulnerable, but it does have a filler palette, and as I say that, there it goes.
Yep, and the hit on to FDS, but that is a much worthwhile trade for these survivors. Popping last gen, one hit, trade deal, trade offer, I'll take it. As we do see the chase onto FDS at this truck that already had the pallet used. One more rush.
Wow.
Swing does not come through. And there's the gate. They're going to say, well, 4th stage, that's good enough for the books. We'll still make whoever's doing these statistics later today.
Oh, they want it.
Life. Oh,
they want it.
They're going to get it. They're getting these body blocks.
Oh, the firecracker. Can they do it? No, not quite. Not quite. Oh, but
FTP?
they're going back into the map.
Do they have FTP?
What is their plan?
Suits?
I don't know. I don't think they're in position for it. They might just be taking a 4th stage here. Oh, they're so greedy. They want it. They want this. They want only 2 stages on the board. Grizio is going to have to just bust it down Shikiki style. Freddy Fazbear Bite of 1887. I'm just rambling here. He's got second wind. We'll see how he goes. Can they get the body block? I think they're gonna do it, Potato. I think it's gonna be 2-stage.
This endgame is making about as much sense as the sentence you just said. And here's the hits, and here's even out the door. That's gonna be a 2-stage, 2 fresh on the Blight, and too many comments that Georgie said that does not fit this generation. But regardless, we will see a back on the same map with the same teams, but the Billy this time. So Nest here, still blast. We'll see you then.
Welcome back to Grindhouse Competitive Scrims. I had to interrupt my mewing streak and come up here and yap again. But we have Grizio on Billy, and we just saw Silence win a Blight set really quite hard, and now it's Vicinal's turn for their killer pick. Let's see if Grizio can determine why they picked it, and right there is why we're seeing Grizio laying down the law, putting up a good curve, and wow, that was a great start. Look at this build, Potato. We got Thana, Ruin. This looks like a lot of slugging to me.
This is saying, sorry about the Blight game. Sorry I didn't perform. Don't worry, y'all. I got you on the trade-off. It says I'm going to be getting a 4K5 or something pretty close to it. This isn't a play it safe Billy build. This is a I'm going to go get everybody on the floor really fast, as the unhook does come through almost as fast as that build wants it to happen. And now we're in overdrive. Trying to get this down onto FDS. This is the tunnel out. We'll see if they have any anti-tunnel. But right now, we're just hitting wood.
Look at those obsession tendrils tingling on that ace. He's either for the people or decides to strike. I think he could be decides to strike. I think he's there for a reason. And GreedZero is gonna find out whether he likes it or not if he hits this curve. But I don't know, honestly, if you don't go down, why even need to use it? I mean, FDS is greeting for a reason. It's because he's saying, you can't hit me, man. You're gonna have to upgrade your battle pass if you want to hit me, bud.
Audrey, this is the DVD version of Nana Boo Boo, and GreedZero trying to get it down onto FDS. It gets the pallet first, although FDS does have another pallet, but gets the correct play on it, making sure they don't get hit by the curve, as we should be seeing gens pop in the distance, or down under a pallet, and the swing through doesn't land, and GreedZero says, wait, I have gens I have to worry about. This isn't a 1v1? I'm sorry. Let me go get this guy on the hill gen and see if you can handle the crouch check, and Nervosito going down, but GreedZero not wanting to get the hook. They just want to free down for pressure. They want to go back to FDS. Have Ruin tick away at that gen, have Thana do its work as the gen does pop off in the distance. Trying to find FDS still, here at the imposter tile, trying to find them on the edge map. FDS with some pathing here to help them survive. FDS, where you at?
He's just on fire right now. I think he's single-handedly brought them out of the early, from that early hook stage to a reasonable mid-game here. I would not be surprised if we see another gen pop. There it is. Now, that said, FDS is going to be Death Hook now. That's 2 stages on the board on the same survivor. Likely to be tunnel out soon. I think we're going to see Silence slow down a little bit. They're probably going to split up. I don't know if they're going to be on Tango to fast unhook this, but I can't even keep up. GreedZero is just constantly pumping out chases. He's going to get a tag here on Nervosito and probably go right back with his overcharge. Let's see how FDS can play. He played the first chase really well. I wouldn't be surprised if he sends this Billy for another long run. And he's going to see him at 12. FDS has got to make this broken bus work, but can he do it? Finds the Nancy, but collides, and I'm just at a loss for words. Potato, help me out here.
I'll see what I can do, but I think right now FDS might be at a loss for resources. This bus not going to be enough, but here's going to be the down, and GreedZero may be concerned about a flashlight save, a pallet save, a DS. That's why they're looking around, trying to figure out what is the game plan here. GreedZero now might be wanting to get the pickup, but no, concerned about the power, concerned about the DS, concerned about everything. Wants to go straight back to this hill gen, sees Nervosito on it again. Now gonna go back to the slug. Is now when you try to pick up and get this into an official 3v1. We'll see. Standing on top of it, baiting more. We see the totems, we see the gens, but we don't see where these survivors are or what they're doing. Now GreedZero picks. And there is a survivor here. They take an M1 forward, but that is definitely worth it. Stops the tunnel from happening. And now GreedZero has to chase somebody. Did they win the 50-50 of which survivor went which direction over here at the bus? Where'd they go again?
Wow, FDS's movement and just the spots where he chooses to crouch and hide his groans is just... This guy is playing so well for Survivor on SA ping as well. I gotta say, again, these guys are playing on ping. They make it look like it's just normal DPD, super easy. And GreedZero, though, finally gonna catch him out here. Finally, the man, the myth, the legend, FDS is gonna be going down. No more gooning for him. His streak is down. Just like GreedZero is going to be busting it down now that we're in the 3v1. And the 3v1 is really where this starts up. I mean, you got Thanatophobia to help slow down the gens for every injury, every slug you get. But we've already made it to 1 gen. I mean, Potato, that's what we wanted a 3v1 at 4. This isn't even like an insane win con anymore.
I'd agree. 4K1 is what most people would say is the expected result of Billy in most balancing systems. So saying that this unusual, risky, crazy build might be getting you a 4K1 just isn't worth the risk. It isn't worth this pressure. Thanatophobia not doing as much in a 3v1 as you don't get that big chunk of 14% at the end for having all 4 survivors injured or slugged. You still get 4% from the down and the injury, but it's just not that much. The big keystones here: Ruin, Retribution, crowd control, trying to get these chases to end quickly. And now we see the chase back at this bus. This pallet already used. Billy in overdrive. You're gonna get the pallet or the hit. See which one Grizio is going for, and chooses neither. Yeah, hits a rock instead. We're not playing Fortnite. We're not playing Minecraft. Although that is the kind of yokes that you're looking for our audience to understand. And now we're gonna see the chase on the Nervosito at this imposter lane. But make sure the Nervosito doesn't make it to the window, gets the pull, doesn't care the reset's happening. That's gonna release the hook, maybe?
Nervosito forces locker. That makes it so it's not exactly a slug. ReZero, though, does have to find, are they either resetting or are they splitting on doing gens? With how aggressive this team's silence has been on gens, how fast they pump them out, I'd be surprised if you can give a damn about resetting at all. In fact, I think someone's stealthing for the pull, and GreaZero's got the same exact idea. But where it's kind of slowing down here in the pace. Hold that thought, though. We've got scratch marks and a snipe! And that's going to be a slug into a chase on Nervosito. This could be it, Potato. That means Darkside's the only one cranking that gen at Shack. Nervosito's got to hold a chase here for 20 seconds at least, and that doesn't happen. It's over.
It's over unless there's anything fancy happening. Unbreakable, I believe, is not allowed against Billy. You don't have a way to pick yourself up off the floor. We'll see if this survivor can stealth and get some saves, or get some pickups or something, or crank a gen in the distance. GreaZero thinks they have a lock on where the survivor is, but we don't have eyes yet. No scratch marks, no groans. Now checking basement. This isn't over yet. If they can figure out where the survivor is, sure. 4K1, write it down, put it on the scoreboard at the top of the screen. But right now, Darkside doing a great job staying in the dark, hiding, figuring out what the best game plan is, letting these survivors recover. GreaZero at a loss with zero clue where they are. The pickup does come through. Now GreaZero having to go salvage what they did, lost the pressure of not finding the last survivor. Never mind, they find Nervosito, they'll be fine.
Darkside really doing a good impression of what his namesake is, kind of giving a good snake impression, staying in the dark like you said. But that is all said and done. We've now got a chase with Nervosito and just greeting his pallet really well. I cannot overstate how well these survivors are playing right now. It looks like they are on fire, and Caster's curse, right as I say that, he gets curved. So I guess I should just stop yapping and just let him play. But GreaZero's going to have another down, and he's worried about potential desperation attempt at that gen at Shack. He really wants this 4K1, but can he find these slugs? Can he find Darkside? Darkside doing a really good job staying away from the Billy and stealthing across this map. You gotta remember, this is a giant green map with not a lot of big structures, a lot of low tiles to crouch around, but pretty easy to spot rotations, and that just makes it all the more impressive with how Darkside's doing this. But Potato, I don't think we're gonna see another gen pop. I would be surprised if we even see a recovery at all. I think the one thing, if you want to correct me, that Silence has on their side is that bleed outs do matter, so GreaZero does have to hook at some point, and that might be their one thing they have.
Correct. This is a league where the fresh bleeds are going to be a loss of the fresh hook. Nervosito has been hooked once, this will be their second, but Mariana on the ground is a fresh hook. That would be a fresh bleed, which in a Billy set means that the 4K1 isn't a tie con, it's a win con, which is a completely realistic thing to occur. If you're playing Billy, you're wanting the 4K1 at minimum, not 4K1 with the tiebreaker loss afterwards. Seeing Nervosito, sure, but at the end of the day, right now, all the survivors side has to do is distract 3-0 long enough that they can't look for Mariana without being punished. If you look for Mariana and you lose a gen, that's even worse. So making sure Mariana gets the fresh bleed is enough for this survivor team to say, our killer's got this half.
And GreaZero does find a chase though, and I mean, we're in the 3v1 here. Every chase puts that much more pressure, and I have to know, where the hell did Mariana crawl? He hasn't been picked up this whole time. He's close to bleeding out. I mean, Zero, some people say, you know, oh, I'm going to the gym. I'm trying to looks max right now. He's slug maxing. He's slug maxing. That's what he's doing. And he has an idea that he might be in this corner at 1, but the pro is not disturbed. Not going to find him. Mariana, I think this was their plan. Their intent was to have him bleed out. That way, if it does tie at 4K1, it's actually a win for them, and this could be just a little bit of a 2-0. I didn't think this would be that close. But, oh, but right as I say that, he finds him right before he bleeds out. Zero somehow having the Ultra Instinct moment to just find him and powers up and just uses his Immaculate Game Sense or something. But I wonder if, Potato, if we're going to see that come in later in this game. But hold that thought, we actually have a chase with the last remaining survivor. This could be it. Wow.
It's going to be the last slug, and that was, as you said, a last-second humongous difference in the result of this game. Darkside, still fresh hook, still have to find them, but you have a lot of time to be able to find Darkside. Now Mariana sitting on the hook, you know where Hack spawns, you know that's not going to be concerned, you have 3 minutes to find Mariana on the ground. And now we swap from DBD to hide and seek.
Yeah, and that's going to be a death there, and I think, is there a refresh hook anywhere else to be seen on these survivors? I think they've all been hooked, right? Once, at least?
This is Darkside's first, so now the Greasy has found it, now we're going to call it a day. Now we see 4K1 tie condition going into the second side. Silence, we'll see if they're able to force it into at least type. Oh, not force it. They won first set. I'm paying attention. Woohoo. Silence, knowing that if they get better than a 4K1, are going to take the 2-0. But if it's a 4K1 tie or lesser, we'll see you for the Oni set. Regardless, we got the time to sit on hook. Yep, Mariano's almost dead. So what are you expecting for the second half of this Billy set?
We got time to yap. I think, really, we saw Mariana last time on the Blight set. He went for a very aggressive kind of totem build, right, with the Retribution proc, and just really active on the map. And it kind of paid off for him. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see more totems. Honestly, the whole, like, Thanatophobia, I've seen one other comp Billy, or I've seen a few other comp Billies run that for, like, slugging playstyle, but for me, it's going to be Ruin, Retribution, maybe crowd control, and corrupt.
We'll see what Silence's killer will be running on the Billy set right after this.
Welcome back, everyone, to the stream. We are tuning in with Vicinal versus Silence on Billy. Silence did take Blight set number 1, and the killer for Vicinal, now on the Blight set that they chose, just put up a 4K1. Now it's on Silence's survivors to counter that with a potential better win con. Or not Silence's survivors, sorry, Vicinal survivors. And we have Nervosito on the Billy here. I gotta correct my mistake. Don't put disrespect on Nervosito. Never do it. He gets a hit through the pallet. Bronzy already getting tagged here. Potato, this is such a lightning fast start. I didn't even introduce you. I forgot to. I'm so sorry.
You're more than fine as we're getting these cases off the rip, even though they aren't on off the rip. We're on Bronzy, already with a hit, trying to figure out what they're doing at this pallet, and they're just gonna hold W. But will they get punished for it? No. Mind games.
Wow.
That's very M1. That's a very M1 chase for a Billy set. I feel like that was unusual, but hey, it works. You take these. That is a hook, and we'll see what Nervosito can do on the Silence killer side of this set. 4K1 is the tie condition. 4K2 means congrats, Silence. 2-0. You're going home. You're good. Thumbs up. If this is a 4K1 to tie into the tiebreaker set, or a better result for the Survivor squad, excuse me, we'll be going into the tiebreaker. But Nervosito trying to make sure that isn't the case, trying to see where these survivors are. With all this early pressure, one gen pop, you see someone on this gen, and you know that nobody should be going for the save, because I think there was 2 people on that gen. But what is the correct play here, Georgie?
I mean, the survivors for Vicinal, I mean, you're already seeing it. I think they're just foregoing this hook, or at least were. I think there was an attempt at an unhook here, but you want to just triple split in your gens, mind the pressure. I mean, the thing with Billy is he can be everywhere at once. Usually you see him leave hook and then come back to secure a little bit later, and looks like we're going to be doing the Billy dance in front of this hook and securing a second stage. And I'm sure Vicinal is all too privy to this, so I'm betting you they're working those gens over at 10 or, you know, whatever clock you want to go by. But if it's where over there where that broken garbage dump is, whatever you want to call it on your clock, that's the gen they're working. And we might even see a rotation to Shack. Hold that thought though. Look at that totem placement in main, like right next to the hook he's securing. That is some major luck right there. And Nervous is going to be getting a tag here. Oh, but he wants the chainsaw. Light though is going to break it away. Slasher with a terrific use of exhaustion there. And just look at the greed has been the name of the game with these survivors. They're just so unwilling to drop these pallets, and it's kind of working out. I mean, the chases are working out, and Nervous is back in a chase. Potato, take me through this final chase on Bronzy, who is Death Hook.
This final chase on Bonds is going to start with a pallet drop and going to bust, but you don't make this window, you at least get M1, no dead hard. We'll see if there is a DS or pallet save or something fancy happening. Anyone here for a flashlight? Isn't there. It gets stuck on the little part of the bus there, wondering if they had accuracy on that flashlight, but regardless of why, the what is important. The what is Bronzy is dead with 4 gens left. Make that 3 now, and a chase immediately onto Slasher. And this is a very good position for Nervosito. 4K2 is the win con, so you can even give up one of these gens. But Nervosito says, nah, I got Ruin, I've got a chainsaw, and I've got the skills to finish this match here. And what can these survivors do?
Critical mistake not getting that flashlight, but you can see how reluctant Nervosito is to give out these M1s. He could clearly be hitting them, but he wants the chainsaws. He's comfortable. Did you see him autocorrect for that flare that the Ada did on that tile there next to the pallet? Just really well played. And this is probably another life coming out from the from Slasher here. Not quite. No, that's going to be another down. Oh, okay. Well, Caster's Curse again, and he chooses to die pallet. So I wonder if we have Greezero waiting in the rocks here with the sprint burst, and looks like that's exactly what's happening.
Yep, but Greezero being cut out here means it's a great snowball potential for Nervosito. We already saw that Nervosito was wanting to slug, so if they were going to slug anyways, I don't know why you would be hovering for the save. Instead, it gets caught out here. And now, that's 2 on the ground. Gray, are you cranking a gen? Are you going for the pickup? Are you stealthing? What are you doing? Because you need to be doing something. Nervosito, not concerned about these fresh bleeds if they come through, because who cares? Gens is the first priority when it comes to win conditions. If you get the 4K3, you don't care if fresh bleeds out. Freshes bleed out. Words are difficult, but that's what the survivors are struggling with too. Trying to figure out what to do in this difficult situation. Because there's not much they can do safely.
I no shame there, brother. Sometimes I'm struggling on yapping or just playing DVD in general. But hey, we're all here. We're all just trying to learn. And let's get back to the game though. Nervosito has already got a slug and an injury. Vicinal has just really got to like find a way to come back into this game because the downs are just happening too fast. And Nervosito decides, okay, I have time to hook. I don't need to keep the slug train going. But man, is this team Silence just playing so well today. This Noller is just trying to claw their way into a tiebreaker at least. And we've got to see 2 more gens pop just to even get to Tycon. How are they going to climb this mountain? Well, if you ask me, it's got to be a really good stealth play for this unhook. It's got to be a split pressure between someone on a gen, someone stalling for the pole, and look at this. Nervosito knows that's their win con, right? And he's trying to find him so bad, but survivors on Vicinal nowhere to be found for there. What do you think they're working?
I think they're working Shack because we just saw the ace. We see Gray here at the Shack gen, and an attempt at a curve doesn't hit, but that was way too close of a comfort. The unhook does come in. There's no broken, so it's not deliverance. And Nervosito, no audio, but still trying to get this play here at this unusual pallet they played earlier. Not wanting to break the pallet, just trying to break their ankles. Gray off the rip, trying to take this edge map on the other side, give these survivors time to do other things. But Nervosito is saying, turn to the left, go back to where these survivors were. These, what I believe is Greezero over here. Yep, that is the injured Claudette they're after. And there's the pallet. This used to be a walk down M1. Nervosito wants to be fancy and succeeds at it. Beautiful down. Not wanting to take the extra hook. Wanting to make sure that these gens aren't flying. But you can give up one of these gens. This is a risky play to slug here, but it's paying off. You find Slasher, you get a pallet. You should have them cornered. They have one window, but the pickup does come onto Grizero, so Georgie, is all this worth it?
I know, that's what I'm thinking. I'm sitting here thinking, man, your win con is 4k1. You can afford to hook here. I mean, look at how much pressure they've got on these generators. It's I see maybe Shaq is at 20%. The gen he just interrupted here at the broken bus is at 10, 20% as well. So, okay. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a split going, but it's just overkill. I think I'm starting to think it's biting him not hooking as often as he is, but now he's got a hook here. Now the game, you know, what hooks give you, what I want to like emphasize here is like a location on where people will be. You know something's there. Whereas with the slug situation, it's like anyone could be anywhere.
Yeah,
Ray eats the chainsaw through the window. I'm so sorry, but I just gotta hold that thought. These chainsaws, I mean, I'm sure they're looking horrible on Vicinal's stream or on their POV, but they're looking pretty clean from Nervosoto. I gotta say, his mechanics on Billy, like the S curves, everything he's been hitting, really well played. Really well played.
I agree. Slugging is chaos, and hooking is consistency. Hooking gives you info on where these survivors are, confidence they're not doing anything, but the other way to know they're not doing anything is when they're in your face, and now you know where everyone on the map is. But hooking being consistency is what you're looking for. You have an advantage position. You have gens you can give up for free. You have the confidence to say, I can get my downs. You can hook it and know that these gens aren't flying. You have Ruin to deal with that for you. And now what you do see is the scratch marks. Seeing if these survivors can stabilize, get some gen pressure. But as you know, one of them has to go for the unhook fast, and that's why Nervosito is doing the long loop around to get back to this tile, trying to see where these two survivors together are. And now we do see
the big brain play coming out from Vicinal, trying to get the correct macro decision going, but Greaser is out of position without a sprint burst exhaustion to bail him out here. Sees the curve coming, goes to flare, but Nervosito didn't even send it. That's going to be a free, quick, easy down. These hook stages are stacking up, and the gens are not popping. But we're in a crisis here. How are Vicinal going to come out of this?
I would agree that is a great correction, but I think the more important correction is Nervosito. Great curves, great macro play, the confidence to slug and know where these survivors are. Sure, I think they could have gotten the 4K2 by hooking, but was Nervosito trying to make a statement, say, I get the 4K3, and they're trying to make a statement with that curve, and now they just want to say, time for me to go home, seize the Ada, and that's a down. That's everybody on the floor, no unbreakables, all the freshes have been gotten. This should be a 4K3 in Georgie. What a statement.
Everyone loves seeing a good old Sin car curve. You know, it's been done a million times. I remember back in the old day, like 2018, when I wasn't even playing back then. I'd started playing 2021 on like Trickster release, but back in the day, I've seen clips of that. Like everyone went crazy over Sin car. Now it's just a thing. Like everyone knows about it, right? It's like it's whatever. It's like Blight Hug Tech. Everyone knew about that for a while, right? But yeah, going back to the original discussion. I mean, look, I gotta say, I think Silence looked like the better team today. They came, their survivors were phenomenal. Their killer side was near flawless. And Vicinal, though a strong, extremely threatening team, just could not put up with the pressure. So for these two sets, it's just going to go for Silence's way. And I got to say, Silence just played out of their mind, and good luck to Vicinal in the future.
Yes, that was the Silence taking the 2-0 in the Silence Vicinal game, but that does not mean they are out of this bracket. They will be going to the losers bracket with, I believe, their opponent to be determined from the result of the Valhalla Overcome game that is happening later. But so Silence taking the 2-0 means they will be playing Dead Future in the winners bracket of this tournament. Round 2. But we will see when those matches get scheduled next time, and I'm going to check the schedule for when the next game is to advertise. We have the next round will be starting next weekend, Friday, August 9th, Saturday, August 10th, and Sunday, August 11th. games are yet to be scheduled, but make sure y'all stop by. I'll do my best to be here, and on behalf of Georgie and the rest of Grindhouse staff, we will see y'all next weekend.
Thanks for watching.